Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, we'll just wait a few minutes to get Christina in the room with us. All so much for being here. This is the Student Government Association debate for the class year of 2026-2027. Put your hands together for all of our candidates for making it this far in the process. My name is Alejandro. I am a current senator with the SGA. I'm the communications officer, and I'm really happy to be here to serve as today's moderator. Before we get started, we do have a guest speaker here that will say a few words, but before I introduce that guest, I'd like to just give a brief background of what you're going to see here today. We call it a debate. It's going to be more or less a moderated Q&A with all of our candidates here on the stage. We'll give them all a chance to introduce themselves and answer a few questions. And if we have time, I'd like to open up the floor to those of you in the audience to ask them any questions that you might have. At this time, I'd like to kind of introduce them briefly. I want to say their first name, and if they could stand and just wave to the audience, will give us all an idea as to who we're going to be hearing from today. So first we have Amelia. Welcome, Amelia. Christina. Let's see. Clarissa. Awesome. Constantine is here with us. Hello, Constantine. Danny. Let's see. Let's say hello to Tessa. And running jointly for our executive officer positions, first Graham, and then Michael. Great. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm really excited to see you all engage with us. This is a lot of fun, and I hope you're excited, and don't be nervous. Okay, so kind of want to give a brief background on what each position entails here at the student government. They're all officers, they're all considered student government senators, and we have a few of them that are going to be running for a general senate that the executive officers will then appoint. So when that time comes, we are going to fill a Senator 1 pro temp position. This position serves as the bridge between the senators and the executive officers, and they serve as a huge support system for both teams. Senator 2 is the chair of the Coalition of Student Organizations, works real hands in hand with all of our registered student organizations, our department student organizations, as well as our identity unions here on campus. We have an events officer. We do a lot of events on campus, and that requires a lot of logistics and a lot of legwork. The events officer is going to be primarily focused on getting that kind of engagement higher with those events. Treasury Senator works with our Senate budget and is a very crucial, they're all crucial, but this one's particularly crucial to the success of how we spend our money. Engagement officer is going to work hand in hand with COSO, with the events officer, and just making sure that engagement all around campus is at its highest. Marketing officer is going to be working on promoting these events, promoting any of our efforts that we do here as a Senate body. Legislative, working with our policies and procedures here on campus, very technical stuff. A lot of it goes over my head, but it's a lot of fun. And then last but not least, your communications officer. That's me. I try to keep everyone abreast with everything that's happening here. It's a very big task, but there's a lot of great systems here so to build off of if any of you are interested in that one particularly. Cool. Now at this time, I'd like to bring up a guest speaker, a very crucial person to the success of LCC and has been a huge inspiration to not only me, but I know for a fact a few of our fellow senators as well. And I want you to give her a big warm welcome and help me welcome to the stage President Stephanie Bulger.
Hi, everyone. And thanks, Alejandra. I really, really appreciate that. It's nice to see everybody today. Um, so I'm Stephanie Bolger. I'm the president of the college. We have 1,000 employees at our college. Did you know that? 1,000 employees, and we serve over 17,000 students. I'm the president of the entire institution. It's absolutely an honor to do that. I'm incredibly proud of you, all of you here on the stage, and all of you here out in the audience. Really, really proud of you. I'm a big believer that leaders are made and not born. Leaders are made and not born. And so what you're doing today is part of your leadership journey. No matter what happens today or after that, this is a really, really important step in your leadership journey. I really enjoy working with the Student Government Association. It's just an absolutely wonderful experience to be so close to students and what you're trying to accomplish for yourselves and for the students that you represent. So could not be more proud of you for that as well. So what I would say to the folks on the stage is have fun, do your very best, and like I said, no matter what happens, you are leaders, and we're all looking forward to working with you as time goes on. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, President Bolger. Cool. Again, thank you all so much for being here. This is really important. I'm happy to see this turnout today. Okay, at this time, I'd like to go through a set of questions with each of our candidates here on the stage. I think the way that we'll do this is I will go through each question one by one. I'll ask it to all of you as a group, and if you feel comfortable and confident enough, you can step up at your own will and answer the question for us. Does that sound good? Okay, I'll step out of the way here. And our first question that we'd like to hear from our candidates is, if you're willing to, come up to the podium, introduce yourself, and give a brief reason as to why you are running for the Lane Government Association. Yes, no problem. Introduce yourself and give a...
I'm Michael Wilson. I'm running for president of the SGA. I'm guessing you want me to go into why I'm running for president?
Yes, we'll give a reason as to why you're running.
Okay. Currently, I'm only a transfer student at Lane Community College, but I have the hope to go and get a history degree at the U of O. I have the hopes of eventually becoming a public defense lawyer. I want to go specifically into the type of law where I work for the community and not so much for the money, as a lot of attorneys do nowadays. Kind of what brought me to...
I think, Michael, if we can step up to the microphone just a little bit. A little bit more.
Better?
Much better.
There we go. What brought me to SGA was I was originally interested in a senator. I've done management positions all throughout high school and worked for the students there. And I've been wanting to get more into that here at Lane. And Becca is really the sole reason that I was kind of talked into the position with my experience with dealing with Board of Education back at home, that I can work for the student more in that kind of capacity.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Round of applause for Michael. I think moving forward with our first question, since we can get an introduction from everyone here, let's just go in order from the seats, and then we'll do what I was mentioning for the last two questions. So next we're going to hear from Graham. He is running for our student body vice president.
Hello, my name is Graham. As you just heard, I am running for vice president of the student government. Reason why I'm running, when I first moved, so I moved all the way from New Jersey and I came to Oregon just because, I was like, hey, I want to go to college in Oregon. I went to Lane, and first year I had a really difficult time adapting because I didn't use the resources that were provided to me. Then second year came, and then I started reaching out more to Becca and the student government, and I started engaging more. It helped my grades go up. And kind of what I want to do is be that voice for the people who were like me, who weren't doing good first year, who weren't feeling, accepting in this because, they're not reaching out enough. So I kind of want to reach out to those people and say, hey, here's an outlet that we want you to use. So, yeah.
Thank you, Graham. Next, we will hear from Constantine. Introduce yourself and then give your reason why you're running.
Hi, my name is Constantine, and this is my second term at Lane. When I first got here, I knew basically no one. I was very confused by all the processes that I had to go through with choosing classes, getting schedules, everything. And I found my way to Student Life and Leadership Office, and I was around the senators a lot, and I was around the clubs a lot, and I sort of just found my place there. And I want to be someone who can help others that are feeling confused and don't know what to do. I want to be able to help them find their place.
Hello, my name is Clarissa Steele. I'm here to be a senator for SGA running, and I'm a non-traditional student, which means that I came to Lane when I was 18, straight out of high school, and I had no idea what I wanted to do and just kind of went because my teachers were like, well, just apply, get in, go, and I wasted like half my financial aid on not knowing what I wanted to do, and so I dropped out and I went into the workforce for about 10 years, and now I'm back as a non-traditional student with that experience. And I feel like that gives me a little bit of, not necessarily an edge, but just something where I can inform other students on what real life is like outside of college. So it's not just like, here's what it's like to get your degree and go into the workforce. It's like, hey, sometimes your plan doesn't work out and you got to pivot, and that's okay. You can still come back 10 years later. And so I really want to develop my own leadership skills to be able to take it into the outside world again and continue to help other people develop. And also to represent students, because when I was here the first time around, I didn't feel like I understood what my student fees were going towards or what I was paying for in the first place. And so I really want to get out there and understand what students want and need, and then communicate that to faculty and staff so that we can actually get done what you guys want.
Thank you, Clarissa. Since we began, we have another candidate join us, and we'll invite them up to the podium now at this time. Please help me welcome Hadassah. And Hadassah, if you could just introduce yourself and give your reason as to why you're running for student government.
Hello, my name is Hadassah. This is my third year here at Lane. I'm getting my transfer degree to go to OSU. My plan is to get a chemical engineering degree. The reason why I'm running for student government is because I really would like to give back to the student body. I chose to take 3 years at Lane because engineering is a hard degree, and I really wanted to put my best foot forward. And I had a lot of challenges and barriers, and Lane had a lot of resources that I could utilize to overcome those. So I just want to continue that as with my position on student government.
Thank you, Hadassah. Up next, we have Christina.
Hello, I'm Christina Smith. I'm running for student government to get more involved in the school. I'm a part of the Honors Society and also in the honors program, but I just want to be able to be more involved in stuff that's going on around school and more aware of stuff that's happening that affects students, and be able to be a voice to advocate for the students, and yeah.
Thank you, Christina. Please welcome Danny.
Hi, my name is Danny, and I'm running for Senator Student Government Association. So this is my first year, and I'm really nervous what's going on. And I have a help from my friend Jang. He is also in SGA, and he helps me a lot. So I think that's a good tradition, for helping each other. So I want to continue and like him, just work like him and help more students when they come in the first year, they don't know anything. Yeah.
That's amazing, Danny. Thank you, Danny. Up next, Tessa.
Hi, I'm Tessa. I am going to run for senator for the SGA. I'm currently in GSA. I'm really wanting to like build my leadership skills and get better at being a leader. I think that Lane Community Campus is a really, really cool place, especially because we have a trade program, and I'm not getting a trade. I have tons of friends in trades, though. I feel like we can represent them a lot more than we do, and I think that in general we can represent a lot of this diverse like community that we have at this campus. I definitely think that we're going to be going that way. All the senators here are awesome. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Tessa. And last but not least, your current student body president who is running for Senate next year, Amelia.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I am the current student body president. I was the Council of Clubs chair, now COSO, Coalition of Student Organizations chair for 9 months before I joined student government. The reason why I'm rerunning is because my position takes a lot, and I want to finish my degree on time. I'm in graphic design with a web design certificate, and this position takes a lot. So I want to be still involved, but kind of scale it back. And I'm rerunning because I have been here for so long that I would like to continue supporting students and representing students in any way I can.
Great, that was question one. Sidebar, how are we doing on time? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I would actually like to try this format again for question number 2. And we'll start here with Michael. So question number 2, what do you believe are the most essential resources students need to succeed at LCC, and what would you, or how would you help connect your peers to these resources as a member of SGA?
I think important student resources that are here on campus, without a doubt, the first one would probably be community. That includes like all the different student organizations. Kind of just finding your place, because a lot of people come here without really knowing anybody. I come all the way down from the Rogue Valley, which is 3 hours away. I didn't know anybody coming here, and so just knowing that you have people that can support you on any level of emotional or physical kind of needs, or just knowing that there is somebody that is similar to you, is very important. It just makes you feel better. Other important things also include just like, I think a lot when it comes to mental health care, and that those kind of resources are important for a lot of people coming into college, because I know one of the things that was really a big hit for me was I never really was taught in high school how I'm supposed to time organize all of my work. College is a much different type of time commitment, and I stressed myself out a lot within the first couple weeks, but I was able to get help through those mental health resources to kind of find my way and ground myself better. And I think those are some of the most important resources we can access here at Lane.
Thank you, Michael. Next, we're going to hear from Graham again. What do you believe are the most essential resources students need to succeed at LCC, and how would you help connect your peers to these resources as a member of SGA?
So I'm definitely going to be repeating a lot of what Michael says, so please excuse me. But I think definitely a big one is community. I'm a member of COSO, and I can tell you that everyone in there is so welcoming. Like that, just the community that we made, where we just talk to one another about ideas that we have, and when we bring it up, everyone is on board about it. I mean, it is such a great, just such a great community that everyone just gets along with. I know many of them talk outside, and different clubs will talk to other clubs, and they like, hey, we should come together at this meeting, you know, we should invite you. So I think community is a really big thing. I would like to push it more to where more students like realize that, hey, here are student clubs that you guys should join. You know, we should be super like promoting them. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then I would say the other thing is too, is a lot of the mental health stuff. I think a lot of students have a difficult time with time management. I definitely did. That was probably the hardest thing that I had to learn. But there's so many people here who have done this before who can help you with that stuff, you know? Just coming here and be like, hey, how do I get to this class and this class? Like, what do I do? You know, everyone on campus is here to help you. So I think just a lot more of just, you know, having community, getting people to start talking with each other, and just creating great friendships on campus. So.
Thank you, Graham. Up next, Constantine. What do you believe are the most essential resources students need at LCC, and how would you help connect your peers to these resources?
For me, it's difficult to pinpoint a most important because that depends on the person. But for me, it's someone to talk to, someone that will listen, and someone I can work with. Because I have a lot of trouble navigating specific types of processes, and there's not always the best guides out there, but having someone that I can go to, someone that can act as that guide was, for me, one of the most important things to have.
Thank you, Constantine. Clarissa, you're up next. What do you believe are the most essential resources here at Lane, and how would you help connect your peers to them?
So to shout out some very specific resources, I have used both the LCC Dental Clinic and the Food Pantry. Here, if you haven't, they're amazing, great free resources. Well, the LCC Dental Clinic is more like discounted for students, or free if you have OHP. But I would say that those are pretty important because if you're experiencing food insecurity or you don't have access to healthcare, it's really hard to learn and apply yourself. Because if you're thinking about, man, I haven't eaten for 2 days, how are you going to do your math test, you know? So that's a really good one. And then how I'd like to work on connecting students more is I'd love to start using Google Sheets to ask students the best way they'd prefer to be communicated with, because everybody here gets like 5,000 emails a day. And so you're probably going to miss that one that says like, hey, there's free food on Wednesdays, or come to the Titan Food Pantry to get a bag of food for Christmas. So maybe just using Google Sheets like that to ask how you guys like to be communicated with, so we can use those means to communicate with you. And I've thought about maybe like a buddy program before where you can be connected with students that have been here for a while. So if it's your first term and you're like, holy cow, college is totally different than I thought it was going to be, and what do? You have somebody who's been here for a while and who's like, it seems intimidating, but really it's not, and then you can kind of lean on them. And personally, I've also used the college achievement coaches. They're a little different than an academic advisor because they're more focused on you and what you need to, like the things in your life too. It's not just about how is your schoolwork doing, it's how are you as a person doing, and then we can look at your schoolwork. So I definitely recommend using those resources if you haven't.
Thank you, Clarissa. Hadassah, we'll have you up next. What do you believe are the most essential resources at Lane, and how would you help connect your peers to them?
So there are a lot of resources here at Lane. I'd say the two big categories would be basic needs, things like the Mental Health and Wellness Center, Titan Pantry, the clothing swap, things of those categories. And then I would say community resources, I guess. So that would be like teachers and faculty that are very like positive and open-hearted and empathetic towards students here, because a lot of students here are non-traditional, and that's a very big umbrella for the types of challenges and barriers that these students would go through. So those are probably like the two biggest pots to fill those needs for those students, along with classmates and clubs, of course. How I would connect students, is that the question? That's a hard question because I feel like it's individual for each student. Some students' emails work, some students' flyers work, some students it's word of mouth. So I don't really have a one answer for that, but I would say the answer would be helping students better identify with what resources they need and what resources would actually help them and where they're at. Like make that connection better, because sometimes students don't know what they need. Sometimes students know what they need but don't know where to go. It's a whole mixed bag. So yeah, help students better identify what they need. Yeah.
Thank you. Christina, you're up next. What do you believe are the most essential resources students need at Lane, and how would you help connect your peers to these resources?
I believe the most important resources would probably be the basic needs, like the pantry and the clinic and the mental health services, as well as the college achievement coaches. And also car services have been a really big help for me. I'm neurodivergent, and I didn't know how hard full-time school was going to be, and I had a really hard time with my first term as a full-time student until I heard from another student where I volunteered at a different school about accommodations, and I was able to get connected with accommodations, and it helped me keep good grades and be a lot more successful at college.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, Danny, you're up next. What do you believe are the most essential resources students need at Lane Community College, and how would you help connect your peers to these resources?
So I think the most essential resources student need to be success at Lane Community College go beyond academic, while tutoring, advising, and faculty support are crucial. But so students also will rely heavily on mental health services, financial services, financial assistance, food, career services, and also clear access to information. Many students struggle not because resources are unavailable, but because they are not where to go. They are hard to find or poorly communicated. So as an SGA member, I will focus on improving outreach and see that students know where to go for help. Yeah.
Thank you, Danny. Okay, Tessa, you're up next. What do you believe are the most essential resources students need at Lane, and how would you help connect your peers to them?
Hi. Okay. I definitely feel like food pantry is so important, right? Food pantry, health clinic, mental health clinic. I think everything that we have is so. Most schools don't have this, but I definitely think that tutoring is also really helpful. Love that we have tutoring, and I think that the way that we communicate that mostly, to me, it seemed like it was mostly faculty letting me know, rather than like an email or like flyers that would notice. I'm not gonna notice those usually. And I'm really happy that faculty is our main, like, our faculty, they care about us, right? And they want us to like succeed, so they'll give us offer these resources. But I feel like our weeks of welcome could heavily strong suit like how we communicate these resources more, especially for new students coming in. I feel like during my first term, I didn't really know we had anything until like my math teacher let me know. So I think that a lot of our really, really helpful resources that are like integral to our success could be a lot more like integrated during like our weeks of welcome when we're having like special events at the start of the term.
Thank you, Tessa. Okay, Amelia, what do you believe are the most essential resources students need here at Lane, and how would you connect your peers to them?
Well, I don't think there's a single essential resource that hasn't been mentioned yet. So, STEM Learning Zone, that's a big one. I'll take that one. No, I'm kidding. No, there's a lot of essential resources. Our lanes, I've been here 3 years. It took me a long time to know about a lot of these resources, and I didn't know until I went to the Student Life and Leadership office. How I would connect students to these resources, flyers, email, by word of mouth, just amplifying that even more because we have these avenues, we have these channels. They're not being heavily utilized. And in my position, I would also advocate for the college to push these resources more, put more flyers out, because yes, our department puts out a lot of flyers, and we have a lot of flyers from a lot of other different departments, but I'm not seeing ones from the college specifically about these essential resources. So that's what I would push for.
Perfect. How about a round of applause for all of our candidates up here real quick? Okay, we do have one last question. It is a bit of a difficult question to wrap your heads around, or it might be. So I don't think I will necessarily call on each and one of you. So for this last question, step on up as you feel comfortable. Okay, question number 3. Lane Community College is funded 3 primary ways: government funding, taxes, and tuition. We have partial control regarding tuition costs. There is a lot of discussion on campus regarding the $8 million mitigation plan. What strategies would you employ to advocate for student success to ensure students' needs and interests are being met? I'm going to go ahead and repeat this one. Okay.
Hello. Something that I would do is, once we figured out your preferred method of communication, is actually ask students what they want their money to go towards. And after we find that out, we can make a student-informed budget where we understand what you guys need or what we budgeted for before, and then we can go, here's what students actually want, and kind of compare those and see where we can go and like sacrifice some of the things or to make things that you guys actually want happen. Yeah, and also just to connect with more faculty, because I know they're also working on like a union contract, and so figuring out what they need on top of what student needs to kind of meet in the middle.
I think to answer this question specifically is about tuition and like students' input on it, right? And
Yes, yeah, we have partial control regarding tuition costs.
Right.
So what strategies would you employ to advocate for student success to ensure that students' needs and interests are being met?
I think it is important to, like Clarissa had said, is figure out how the students want to be communicated with and like send out that lifeline to basically be like, this is how you talk to us. But I also think it's just as important that us as SGA members, that we should go to the students as they are. We have them expect all these academics and group kind of considerations that they have to give themselves and that they put their time towards. And then we say, make time out of all of that and come see us. When I feel like us as representatives and serving them, we should go to them and speak to them directly and hear just not only all these different student representative concerns, but also just the general student, like going up to people who their day-to-day is where they don't listen to much of what's happening outside of their classes, is to try and figure out what they want their input to be, and I guess drop down to the student level instead of having them have to crawl the ladder up to us.
Christina, real quick, I just want to mention, we may or may not have some viewers at home on our Zoom meeting. Okay, I got confirmation that we do not, so this is a moot point. Perfect. Thank you, Christina. You can come on up.
So personally, I think that surveys may be a good way to reach people as well, to get their opinions, students and staff. I was just told to do a survey the other day in one of my classes at the beginning of my class, and it was talking some about the budget or things that we don't, that we think or don't think should be cut out. And I think that hearing from certain students, it would be good, because there is talk of like, there's been programs being cut or classes, and the talk of like making class sizes bigger and stuff doesn't seem like it would be very conducive for many students. And I've heard people say that there's classes that they might not be able to take that they need for their degree. So I think that being able to reach the students and get their opinions on what is the most important to them, because for me, like a quality of education is very important, would be helpful.
Thank you, Christina.
So I just want to start off by saying I agree with what everyone is saying. I would personally, I would really want to reach out to the student organizations and associations. I think clubs and students, they should all have a say. And I think, going off of what Michael's saying, I think student governments should go to meetings with them and say, hey, this is what's happening. We want to hear what you guys say. You know, please talk to us. And I think the other thing is too is, you know, just transparency, being honest with students and being honest with the student government and saying, hey, this is information that we've got. Here's how we're going to tell it to you. What do you want us to do? Because this is it's the students' money. You know, we want to do what is best for the students. So, yeah.
Thank you, Graham.
I know a lot about this topic. Um, perhaps too much. I've heard about this time and time again. There really isn't the best way to communicate with students. Some students just ignore things. They just want to get their degree, certificate, whatever they're getting, and get out. I definitely agree that going to the student level is probably one of the more effective ways of doing it, because digital stuff, very easy to ignore. You can just pile up emails and never read a single one of them. Getting student input on this, first step would be letting students know that this is happening, that tuition is going up in the first place. That's something I've been advocating for greatly with the people I know, is letting students know that this is very likely going to happen. To what percentage? Not sure yet. And we do have, student government, we do have a survey with institutional effectiveness, institutional research, I'm not sure of the name exactly, but we do have a survey with them. And in that survey, it asks students, by what percentage would tuition go up, and then they wouldn't be able to attend college anymore. That'll be closing sometime next month. I'm not quite sure on that piece. But surveys is definitely part of it. Yeah, getting students in the know, just telling them first of all, and then you can collect data from there. And then you get student interaction, get students interested in what's going on, instead of just telling them, hey, tuition's gonna go up, this is the rate it's going to go up. That's not student forward. That's just saying, hey, we're gonna take a bit more money from you and no reason why. Thank you.
In my opinion, I believe student success comes from transparency and inclusion. I would listen to student concerns and encourage open discussions and clearly explain how budget decisions affect students. My goal is to protect essential services and keep tuition affordable and support programs that help students succeed.
Thank you, Danny.
I agree with what everyone has said here also. I'd also like to add, I feel like the question is how to support students, right?
What strategies would you employ to advocate for student success to ensure their needs and interests are being met?
Yeah. I feel like Lane has a lot of avenues like faculty, advisors, mental health and wellness center, therapists there that can help students like brainstorm different paths to achieve their goals, because I feel like that's really necessary with especially a lot of non-traditional students. The path isn't technically traditional, it's not just straightforward. So with tuition prices increasing and more barriers on the horizon, I think it would be helpful for students to get together with either like their advisors or their teachers. I had an engineering teacher who gave me a degree path, which is when I chose to do the 3-year instead of the 2-year, to just think of like what paths are open to them and kind of count the cost of what those paths would be. Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Yeah.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else? Okay, how about one more round of applause for all of our candidates for answering these questions today and for coming out here and going through the process of running for student government. I wish you all good luck. And I think at this point, if we have time, if anyone else in the audience has any questions for our candidates, please raise your hand and I'll come out there with this microphone. Great. Just give me a second. Okay, cool. Can you give us your name, maybe what you're studying here at LCC, and then give your question?
Yeah, my name is Ty Kindlespire. I thought I was going to be studying to get my arts transfer degree. I don't really know yet. I'm just kind of figuring out as I go. Looked into the EMT program here, just kind of rolling with the punches. One question I have for all of you guys is what plans do you actually have to implement the ideas that you guys are coming with? I think like you guys have a lot of talk, and that's very nice, and ideas about connecting with the community, but how tangibly are you going to connect with them? Because for me, surveys are a waste of time. Like, yes, a Doug's little discount is very nice, and I appreciate that. But then it ends, and then I don't hear from you guys at all. And like emails don't really work very well. So other than those two, what plans do you guys want to implement in the future?
Remind me your name again. Ty? Yeah. Thank you, Ty. And we'll leave that question for anyone who is willing to answer up at the podium.
I think that something that we can do is we can table events, like just get a table out, and sometimes we do that to promote upcoming events, and just try to have one-on-one discussions with students when we're at events already and stuff about resources and stuff that's going on, and just trying to connect with staff or groups that are events that are already going on so that we can be there and talk about some of the resources that there is on campus and upcoming events and stuff.
Hello, thanks for your question, Ty. I appreciate it. Something that I would like to do is connect more with faculty, because I feel like the way students get information is you'll be in class and someone's like, oh yeah, did you hear about the free lunch thing? And they're like, what's that? And then you're like, oh yeah, it's happening today at 2. And you're like, oh, if I'd have known that a week ago, I'd be going. And so just getting with the faculty, probably during the times when they're planning their syllabus, and just be like, hey, just so you know, these are some student events going on, and you could just put a little blurb in your syllabus about, hey, your classes are due, or these assignments are due, and also here's a little fun thing you could do to relieve your stress that gets you involved. Something like that. And then also the buddy program is something that I want to do, because I know that helped me a lot when I was going just in like the workforce, is they'd connect you with somebody that is more experienced. And also they'll probably be more in the know too about what's going on at school. So you can be like, hey, I don't really have anything to do this weekend. Is there anything? And they're like, oh my gosh, there's actually like the SGA debate you could go to, or something like that. So yeah. Do you have any follow-up questions? Okay.
So me personally, I think a really good resource is the fact that student government, the people who are in them have office hours. So you could come in and ask them questions directly, and then they can respond to you. I think that's the best way, because honestly, if you do have this feeling of like, hey, I'm not getting this information, you should come in and be like, hey, how can I get more of this information? And then we can talk to you and be like, hey, here's some ideas. Would this be better for you? So I guess just coming to talk to student government and kind of just voice that opinion and stuff. So, thank you.
I'm a word of mouth person. I kind of wander around campus a lot, and a lot of people know me like that. So for me, I would say just, if I get voted in, just come talk to me and just let me know what's going on. I do have office hours, I will, but also just like in passing, you could just say, hey, I was wondering about this, where could I find that? Or I'm having this problem. I'm happy to just talk about it for as much as I have time for. I also work at CAR as a student ambassador, and there are a lot of students that are students of CAR that come by with those same problems, and I give lots of tours and show them what buildings to go to. And there's also lots of lost students that come by that building. So, yeah.
Hi. I think that what me and Amelia did, low-key, right before this, is a really, really good method where you kind of just pull review around the school and then, talk to people guys, there's an event going on right now. I think that's a really, really good way. And I mean, it's we're going around, we're in the center building, we're talking to people. And I think that method is probably the best way to let people know that things are going on, especially because it's there's just so many people over there. And they physically see you. You're not just some omnipotent email. Not that I do anything. I think physically being there as an individual is going to be that step to letting people know when things are going on, and that we're physical people that you can talk to.
That's a great answer, Tessa. Do we have any other questions from anyone in the audience? Okay, I saw this hand first, and then if we got time, I think we'll keep answers to this next one a little bit more brief to allow more questions from the audience. Say your name and what you're studying, and then state your question.
Hi, I'm Elian. A lot of you know me. I'm a psych major, and I'm also the president of the Neurodivergent Student Union. I know that several of you guys have talked about meeting with student organizations or being part of student organizations. Has that changed the way that, like, the things that you want to do and the goals that you have? And if so, how?
Yeah, we'll leave the answers to this question open as well. Come on up.
It definitely has changed how I want to do things, because one thing I've run into a lot with organizations is getting people invested, getting people to care enough to show up and to put work in to make sure that things continue. So that has made me want to work not just for the students, but with the students on everything, because I know that the best way to get things changed and to figure things out is working with the other people that want them changed.
Okay, if that's all the answers for that question, we'll have one more question, and I think we'll be wrapping up right after that. So state your name, what you're studying here at LCC, and then go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, my name is JJ. I am the current president of the Speech and Debate Society. And one question I have for any one of you is, if you had to cut one existing student government activity entirely, what would it be and why?
Okay, I like the question, JJ. It's a hard one. So if, like, are you talking like SGA ran or like any of like the student resources here on campus? Any. Ooh, honestly, probably something when it came to, if it like came down really to the wire, it would probably be something between achievement, tutoring, and the counselors, because those are three different groups that all do the same thing in a sort of different way. And unfortunately, it would be a very unfortunate thing if something like that would have to happen. But I do trust that one of the other two organizations in that situation would be able to kind of pick up the slack and help out and kind of still support the students in the best capacity.
Okay, if that is, oh, we got one more.
I'm part of GSA, so it's kind of crazy for me to say. GEC, if I were to rank every single resource we had, GEC is probably at the bottom. I don't think GSA needs an office or need office hours. I think that we have we have the multicultural center too. Like, we have other resources, so it kind of it's nice that we have it. Love the GEC. But as a resource that we have, it is just not as important as the other ones. Gender Equity Center. Gender Equity Center, right? Yeah. It's a nice building. I really like that area. I'm in there a lot. Don't think it's that, right?
Okay, perfect. That concludes our SGA Q&A debate. Thank you all so much for being here. We do have some food vouchers to the first 50 folks that came in today, which I think is everybody. But don't rush out of here. Before we wrap up, I do want to mention that we do have a few senators here with us. Amelia is currently the student body. I'm your communications officer. We do have public meetings in Center 202. Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. There is a section in the beginning of that public meeting for students to come out and voice any concerns or any questions that you might have, and I highly recommend that you utilize that resource as much as you can, and we'll be doing that with the current student body, Student Government Association, to the end of this term, every Tuesday, 4 to 6, Center 202. Thank you all so much for being here. And I do have one more announcement. We are hosting a BOE watch party tomorrow, Center Building, Hogling Commons. And there's going to be sandwiches from Jimmy John's, and we're going to watch the Board of Education meeting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, do you have a question? Oh, yes. Board of Education meetings. Perfect. Okay, thank you all so much for being here. Good luck on your midterms, and have a great day. Open elections for the current candidates will be opening today at 3:30. They will close at Sunday. So hop online and vote in your candidates.